Welcome to the Future Proof podcast. I'm Jessica Ray Patch, and I'm so happy to be here with Alison Rank. She is your go-to CIO, the Chief Illumination Officer. Now, Alison, I'd love to have you take the floor and kind of explain who you are and what you do for the audience today.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. Alison Rank. I have been in every area of a software company for over 20 years. And what I found throughout creating experiences for everyone from MGM Resorts all the way to Boeing was that the humans that were delivering the experience or doing the experience or creating the experience, them having a good experience was the most important thing to all of that tech that can be our superpower becoming the superpower. So I work with organizations, teams, and individuals to illuminate everything that's working at the human level and how IT and all those buzzwords layer on top of that to truly level up the experience. And so I always say everyone needs a chief illumination officer, and I love doing that.
I could tell. I love your energy. I could already tell, like, I'd want to listen to you and what you'd have to say and what you bring to the table. So I'm thrilled to have you and hear your feedback on some of the questions I have today. So our topic is HI plus AI is the new performance engine.
Mhm.
Engine, it's like a pun off your Boeing. Do you get it? Like it.
Yes, I love that.
Love it. Okay. Now, listen, you said hype word. It's very much a hype word. So today, AI is a hype. It's a hype word right now. So what does it actually mean when you say HI plus AI is really the performance engine? Like, what does it really mean?
So it is blending the heart and the soul of humans and the human connection with the intelligence and the computing power and the multitasking skills of technology. Everything that heart and that soul of the humans that are doing and delivering all of our experience, that they are at their best level because they've been able to maximize things, offload the mundane tasks that no one loves to do, and really get support at all levels from technology that makes them do what they do best, which is connecting, which is delivering great experiences.
Right. So, and I love that. So, and I know that not everybody focuses on, we say we do. I will say, I've worked in a lot of different environments where
Yeah,
they say that humans are important. They say that it's an empowering environment, but when it breaks down to it, it's really driven by revenue or
sure.
outcomes, and it doesn't really focus on the human empowerment side of the house. And I've always been really big on that. I'm like a leader who believes that if you really do give the people what they need and they feel supported, they're going to do a better job. They're just going to feel like they can go out and they're supported to do what they need to do. And also given tasks where they have responsibility to take it and turn it into make it their own so that when they build something that's their own, then they
Mm.
feel more connected to it. And then when you feel connected to that, you're going to have better outcomes. I'm 100% on the same page with you. So the question is, how do you do it? How do you go into an organization? Where do you start? Is it the top down? Is it from the bottom to the top? Where do you start?
So it depends always. And it can really start anywhere. I have organizations who have leaders that are just dynamic and they're really committed to this. They will lead it. I've got organizations that just, for example, an automotive dealer who sent me into their lowest performing 20% of their stores. No one wanted me there. The leaders were the problem. And every single individual, what I see is up to me. And shifting even the porters or, the front desk staff all the way to the GM of a dealership to truly understand the value of doing the best they possibly can, not from a grind it out, but from an inspired, I am delighted to do this. I get to do this.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the shift. And I will say sometimes the way I get customers is from secret shopping and then coming to the leadership and saying, so there's this, and we could fix that like that. It's not hard. It's just bringing awareness and actually making people feel good.
I love that. So when you do your CIO magic, is it
Mhm.
do you have to be on site? Is it local or can you reach out to companies and work virtually? In today's world, you get a
Yeah.
little bit of both, but
Yes. It's everything, honestly, mostly online.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah, I absolutely have customers that will bring me in for a couple of days to do like a big immersive. And habits are not built in those immersives, they are built with slow, steady progress. I actually believe we can't achieve more than three massive things at a time. So that's where doing a couple of them, staying consistent and just staying accountable. I can't be in every city all at one time, but you would be surprised how many people blow up my phone because they are celebrating something that was so little, but when they shifted it, the entire experience changed. So
I believe
it's
it.
fun.
And
Yeah.
I do love that, right? So like we go back to change. I always go back to health and wellness, right? Because you have
Mhm.
those moments in your life. I'm just gonna like use this as an analogy because this is me like every start of the month. This month, I'm gonna get 8 hours of sleep. I'm also gonna drink, 64 ounces of water. I'm gonna run 3 times a week. I'm also gonna lift 4 days a week, while also making sure that I read daily to my children. I'm there
Mm.
and I wanna do all these things all at once,
Yeah.
and I read things all the time. They're like, "You cannot make major change by trying to change 7,000 things at the same time because it just won't
Right.
work," and it doesn't work, and I still try to do it. But what you're saying is right on a company level, right? So you strategically help them set up little bits of progress over time to achieve the ultimate goal.
And honestly, it starts with setting an intention and actually feeling into it in the beginning. So everything that you just listed, were
Yes.
you feeling empowered and inspired and like, I'm going to do this with every single thing that you listed?
Probably not. I don't
Right?
wanna drink 64 ounces of water. I know I have to. I should. I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, even with like gratitude, oh, gratitude is such a great way to start your day. Yeah, it is. And if you just list five things, it'll take you somewhere. If you list five things and you feel those five things that you're grateful for, even if it is you're having a bad day, and I am grateful for this matchbook because I was able to light a candle and it smells good. I can still go with my five senses to the warmth, to the all that it took to manufacture these matches so that they could be here with me. Like, so those are the sort of shifts that we make. And it sounds really wooey, sort of, but it actually starts shifting perspective on everything, on how you're experiencing things.
And I can imagine. So I've been in different work environments, right? So I've
Yeah.
been with very highly motivated people in the military. I've
Hmm.
been with IT people that are extremely introverted. Their personalities they want isolation is their thing, and that's what they need. I've been through with little children that need encouragement, motivation at the highest degree. Well,
Yep.
also order. They need authority and order and in schedule and reliability.
Yep.
Predictability. So, how do you come into a company of a million personalities and hone in on this perspective mind shift change? How do you do that?
It's individually paying attention to every person that has clearly identified they have some opening, whether it's that they're being forced in it or they're curious, and actually paying attention to them. I can't tell you, there was a greeter at a store that they wanted to fire. And I said, does she need to be fired or does she just need to be in a better mood? And they were like, well, we don't know. She's always grumpy. So probably we just need to fire her. I went out and I just talked to her and I told her that she had a beautiful laugh. That girl could not stop smiling. That's how simple sometimes it is.
Huh.
So I hate to simplify it and I love to simplify it.
Yes. Well, just being seen and acknowledged
Mhm.
is something I feel like if you come into a company, not everybody feels seen or heard or empowered. Just getting the ability to have you come in and actually see them might
Yeah.
be a change in itself, it sounds
Hmm.
like. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Which is awesome because I would love to work for a company that would invest in something like you, like a CIO,
Mm.
because you don't
Yes.
see that often these days, right? So is it more that you're be reaching out to companies or are people actually coming to you and saying, Allison, we need a little bit of a culture change around
Mhm.
here. What can you do to help us? Or are you kind of doing the secret shopper thing?
So there are occasions when I will do the secret shopper thing because I'm really interested in a business. Half the time, I'm just in a business that I shop with, and I'm like, this has got to change because I like it here, but I don't want to do this, right?
Yeah.
But to be honest, I am pretty fortunate that right now I'm on a little bit of a wait list, and it's word of mouth and referrals. It is.
That is amazing.
And there's so much that so many companies can do for so little. So I go to events, I go to big trade shows for the automotive industry and the retail industry, get awareness that way a couple times a year. But other than going to spring break for adults, I am fortunate to have clients that have transformed so much that other companies or other leaders are like, how did you do that?
I love that.
My CIO.
I was gonna say that's the biggest, that's the dream, right? That's the goal,
Yeah.
that it's all referrals because you've done an amazing job. So,
Yes, please.
where do you see companies misunderstanding AI, the role of AI today?
So the biggest is when they are letting AI take over things that truly should be human all the way. For example, phone systems, calling in and having a phone system be the first, second, third, fourth thing that you get to experience. AI can do certain things, and it absolutely has a place. And there are certain places where you just lost that because someone didn't connect with a human right away. I would say the other way, the biggest way, is using AI without a very strategic approach for how to train the AI on your brand promise, your heartbeat, every way that your people would actually talk. So even just now, like I yell at ChatGPT all the time not to use M dashes, and only in the last couple of months was that even a thing that it could do. So there are certain things where it's just not human.
Yes. And I think you have to take the time to really let it learn your brand and give it what you put in, right? Is what you get
Yes.
out. So if you put crap in, I always say garbage in. We're in IT space, garbage out. That's obvious.
Absolutely.
But the phone thing resonates with me. And I actually literally just talked about this in another podcast where I just left working with a certain, this is a personal thing, not my
Yeah.
company. I was booking a vacation with a specific, through a specific entity. And I called because I was having an issue and it was an AI bot.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
matter what I did, I could not get a human. And I
Yeah.
said, I canceled everything. I said, I
Yeah.
will no longer use this outlet because if I can't contact somebody, I had just a unique question. And no matter what I said to it, it started hanging up on me after, go, we can't answer that. Or, but I'm like, I can't, what if I actually get on vacation? I have an issue and need to contact and I can't get in contact with them.
Yeah.
So,
No.
yes, really strategically using it where it needs to
Yes.
be. A first line maybe like, hey, I'm your AI, where can I direct you? And then you get a human. Okay. But trying to solve the intricate, specifically for the phone thing, is just, I just needed somebody. I needed a
Yeah.
way to get home.
Well, and the art of the phone call is the biggest. If they're calling you, they want to spend money with you.
I know.
So
I got a
follow-ups and
big
stuff like
vacation
that.
planned. Not through them, at least. I'm going, but
Yeah.
frustrating. So that's good. Strategically placing it. Okay, so human intelligence, let's go back to that. So, what aspects of human intelligence, like judgment, creativity, leadership, cannot be replaced by AI? I know you touched on this a little bit, but a little, I guess, what do you focus on the most with not replacing?
Yeah, absolutely. Creativity and eye contact, right? So it's interesting, even if I didn't know this, but Starbucks, when they are taking your order, even though you can't see them, they can see you. And part of it is so that if someone drives through and they're just talking to air, that they're not doing that. But most of it is they are smiling at you while they are talking to you. So even if you can't see someone when you're smiling, when you're talking, it makes a huge difference. Not just what we say, but actually how we're feeling when we're saying it. And joy is the most underutilized thing that companies don't tap into. The more joyful your employees are, which creativity brings that out, better they're going to be able to feel and act. So it's this glue of human connection that with creativity, yes, can you draw something and then have AI perfect it? Sure. But Yeah, that's would be my answer.
Oh, I love that. I
Mhm.
didn't know that about Starbucks. Go through the drive-through quite often, so now I'm gonna be like looking. So there's a camera on the ordering screen.
Yes.
They are
Yeah, and the only
joyful.
reason I know this, I drove too far up because I didn't wear my glasses, and so I'm like squinting, and he's like, "Hello, person's blank's back seat. How can I help you today?"
Oh my gosh, I love that. But they are quite joyful though, if you think about
Right?
it.
He was so amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
joyful. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much today. Okay. All right. So, what role does company culture play in successfully adopting AI?
It plays 100% of the really, and it doesn't necessarily matter what the culture is as long as it isn't toxic. But knowing your culture. How many times do we have a brand promise or a principles that no one actually knows or even could emulate? I don't know if you know this, but on Starbucks, sorry, I don't know. I didn't have a Starbucks today, and I don't have.
I love it. I'm learning so much. I love it.
But, and I'll give you, so Ritz-Carlton and Starbucks on the apron of anyone that's serving at either of those, you can flip it over and the brand promise is right there so that you can always see it. And it's something that's you can really pay attention to. My girlfriend, Katie Maris, who consults with all the best, she taught me this. You should definitely have her on your podcast. But she talked about how with your brand promise, it needs to be something that you can look around and you're like, yep, every single person embodies that. So Ritz-Carlton, ladies and gentlemen, helping ladies and gentlemen. Can you think of any time that you've been into a Ritz-Carlton that you didn't see even the housekeeper look like a lady or a gentleman? They're dressed that way. They poise that way. They act that way. So it doesn't matter what your culture is, but getting a really good brand promise and having it be able to be in your tech is like, it's simple and yet so profound.
I don't know any brand promises for any companies I've ever worked for. I mean, the Marine Corps, a lot of stuff going on. Honor, courage, commitment. Leave a
Yes.
Marine behind. There's tons of like little things, but when I think about corporations and companies, I can't tell you one. I'm trying
Mhm.
to think. I can't tell you one. Even when
Yeah.
I go back to the 15-year-old me, I worked at a
Mhm.
pizza company. No
Yeah.
promise.
Yeah.
Not even a cute, catchy phrase. I can't
Right.
remember a thing.
When businesses get that right, and every single employee you can see it in, and every digital interaction you can feel and see it in, changes everything.
So cool. Well, my last cool question was going to be if you walked into a company like, or if somebody's listening to this and they're like, oh, we don't have the joy, we don't have all the things, like, what's
Yeah.
one thing they can do today? I don't know if I mean, making a brand promise might be the answer, but now that we already know that, what's
Right.
another one last thing that they could take away and just start working on before they call you, obviously.
Right. The
Yeah.
first call, it's
Call the
I
CIO and then
absolutely. I would do a very simple exercise. I would have a company look at everything that brings employees joy, whether they know that or whether they take a survey. And then what are the things that most people dread? And I would analyze one thing that people dread that you can either remove from the company and automate through technology or place it only on. Have you ever heard of Layla Hermosi talk about maker and manager days?
no, but I want to know.
So your maker days are your creative days. You're doing only what you love because they resource you for your manager days when you're having to do those tasks that you don't necessarily love, but it's a manager day, so you get through it. You have that extra cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So corporations can identify one thing that most of their employees loathe that they can either automate and or only ask that their employees do it on their manager days. And then inspire everyone to choose something for themselves that they love to do, that they actually do in replace. So you're not adding something new, you are replacing something that you loathe with something that you love. Just start there.
What if they tell you they love to not be at work?
I would say
Keep it on
that
couch.
absolutely. And I would
She
say
would love to
that
be.
how you see things is how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you don't love being at work, start your day with what you love, whether that's dancing in your kitchen or playing with your kids, playing with your cats, and see how that shifts your day
Oh my
when
gosh,
you
I love
truly feel completely into something that you love.
So, Allison, where can people find you? Because you exude joy. I feel like everyone would want to work with you. And do you
Yes.
work with companies? What's the size range so people understand when they're reaching out to you? Is it enterprise, corporations, mid-size? Where do you?
I haven't met a company that I didn't love. And I've
Okay.
helped everyone from a business that was 5 people all the way to organizations that are $1 million, $1 billion corporations. So yes, I don't discriminate. Everyone could use a CIO. You can find me 2 ways. Check me out on LinkedIn. I post and I intentionally put content on there that even if you never hire me, hopefully you'll be inspired when you open and see me in your feed. And then secondly, you can find me at my CIO Allison, that's with one L, ALISON. The second one would be redundant.com.
Love it. And that is also for the audience members. It's below. So you can click the links below to find Allison. And thank you so much for being on the podcast. I'm in New York, so I'm ending my day with this podcast and I feel so inspired. So thank you for all the joy you brought for today. And I hope you get 1,000 calls because you should. So
Thank
thanks
you.
for being on the show. And to our listeners, thanks for listening in. And we will see you next time.